Hi, my name is Grady. Welcome to Exploring Nacogdoches, the oldest town in Texas, the channel where we explore the attractions, the sights, and the history of Nacogdoches, the oldest town in Texas. I have my wife Stephanie with me, and today we're going to explore this beautiful, peaceful cemetery. So let's go see what and who we can find here at Oak Grove Cemetery. Well, those are some really big acorns. There's a lot of oak trees here at Oak Grove Cemetery. Maybe that's why it's called Oak Grove Cemetery.
An arts and crafter's dream. This would be a good climbing tree.
I don't think we would recommend climbing this tree.
Not at our age.
It's a really pretty tree, though. Over here is the monument to TJR, Thomas Jefferson Rusk. You can see with me standing here, hopefully, just the immense size of this monument. It's the largest one here at Oak Grove Cemetery. He was a signer of the Texas Declaration of Independence in 1836. He was the first Secretary of War for the Republic of Texas, and he was one of the generals at San Jacinto when Texas won its independence from Mexico. He was also Chief Justice of the Texas Supreme Court. Later, he was a representative in the House of Representatives for the Republic of Texas. He became a U.S. Senator when Texas became a state. So that's Haden Edwards, 1771 to 1849. Haden Edwards is the person that's responsible for the beginning of Oak Grove Cemetery. He's the one that donated the land for this cemetery to be built here. He was educated in law, but he was really more interested in land. So Haden Edwards became an impresario, which is another term for a land broker. But there were conflicts because he wanted the settlers to show proof of the property that they owned. And that led to Mexico revoking his status as impresario. And he was pretty angry because he had already invested about $50,000. And that was a lot of money back at that time. The Fredonia Rebellion is a really interesting piece of history. Haden Edwards and his followers formed an alliance with the Cherokee Indians, and they declared their own country just in this area right around Nacogdoches. That didn't last for very long, and they pretty much just disbanded once Mexico sent troops into the area. So there really wasn't a war during the Fredonia Rebellion. It just kind of fizzled out. And Edwards left for Louisiana after the Fredonia Rebellion, but he returned to Texas during the Texas Revolution. There's also a house here in Nacogdoches called the Haden Edwards House. I think you can rent that on Airbnb. But the house wasn't built by Haden Edwards himself. It was built by his son, Haden Harrison Edwards. I think Adolphus Sterne is supposed to be buried here too, even though he died in New Orleans. Right here we have Adolphus Sterne. This is also a very important figure in Nacogdoches and Texas history. Adolphus Sterne came here from Germany via New Orleans. Adolphus Sterne supported the Fredonia Rebellion by smuggling arms and ammunition, and he was later imprisoned by the Mexican government for his role in the Fredonia Rebellion. There's an interesting legend about that too. It says that he was able to remove the bars from his cell, and he would leave prison at night to go out to dinners and parties. And the legend says that some of his guards saw him and they thought they'd seen a ghost. But what is probably more truthful is that he had made friends with the guards and they liked him, and so they probably just agreed not to say anything about it. Due to his parole from the Fredonia Rebellion, he wasn't really allowed to participate in the Texas Revolution, but he did assist serving as a financier and recruiter during the Texas Revolution. Later, he served in the Texas legislature and was a representative to the Continental Convention in 1833. He also held multiple local offices and commanded a company at the Battle of Nacogdoches in 1839. And his home is one of the oldest standing homes on its original location in the entire state of Texas. Charles S. Taylor, Land Commissioner of East Texas, 1833, and signer of the Texas Declaration of Independence in 1836. Chief Justice of Nacogdoches County, District Attorney, Rio Grande Land Commissioner, born in London, England, died November 1st, 1865. Franklin J. Starr, the oldest marked grave at Oak Grove Cemetery, is right here. That's what it says, it's oldest marked grave. Franklin Jefferson Starr. Starr Avenue is named after him. John S. Roberts, 1796 to 1871. Here is John S. Roberts. He's one of the signers of the Texas Declaration of Independence. It looks like most of the important people have these little signs next to the monument. Robert A. Irion. He was Sam Houston's personal physician. The Sam Houston that led the Texas Army to victory at the Battle of San Jacinto. And he's buried right here at Oak Grove Cemetery. This is William Clark Jr. And there is William
Signer
Clark.
of the Declaration of Independence.
Oh, yeah. Good detective work. And look at this monument. Is that marble? This pair, this is Jane M. Simpson, born in 1799. John J. Simpson, born in 1792. And here's another very ornate and beautiful monument. This one just says Mariana, June 1826 to June 1911. Who did you find, honey? Look at these monuments. These are really intricate. And this is Frost Thorn, 1793 to 1854. This is Texas' first millionaire. He used to have a giant mansion in downtown Nacogdoches, and it stood where the Woodman of the World building stands today, which has an antique store on the bottom floor and apartments above it. It was also known as the Market for a long time, but that's where his home originally stood. Frost Thorn, Texas' first millionaire. This is one of those that you notice from the road when you drive by. This kind of dominates this section of the cemetery. You think of the size of all these oak trees at the cemetery.
They're beautiful.
And it's actually very peaceful. They're beautiful. The whole place is beautiful.
Peaceful.
It is very peaceful here, especially for being just right close to downtown Nacogdoches and some major roads. Look at that magnolia tree over there.
They're pretty. That's all I can say about them. They make a mess.
That is true. And who did you find here finally?
The architect that built that yellow house I like.
Diedrich Rulfs.
Yep.
Within 10 years of his arrival, he had designed over 20 buildings in or around the downtown square and replaced simple wooden frame buildings with beautiful and intricate brick structures, many of which still stand today, like the Wettermark building. Diedrich Anton Wilhelm Rulfs, 1848 to 1926. He was Nacogdoches' master architect. Designed a lot of the coolest looking structures in this town, including the Zion Hill Church, which is right over there next to the cemetery. That was built in 1914. In fact, there's a really good book with a lot of photographs of the buildings and homes that he designed around town. What'd you say this was over here?
This is Tells about the different gravestones, tombstones, markers, headstones.
The language of gravestones. And this tells the history about it.
Want to stay on the path?
We can go straight across if you want to.
That's disrespectful.
It is?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Let's not be disrespectful. We don't want to disrespect.
I just don't want to be haunted. In
Me
my
neither.
sleep.
Oh, yeah. You know, one of my friends told me she was visiting her father's grave here and she actually saw a ghost. And she said it was over here, I think in this part of the cemetery where we are now. An Oak Grove cemetery visit would not be complete without talking about Karle Wilson Baker, who's buried underneath this big oak tree here in the middle of the cemetery. Karle Wilson Baker is a very famous poet, writer, and a woman of letters. Born in Little Rock, Arkansas, she moved to Nacogdoches in 1905. She married Thomas E. Baker. She published her first poem in 1903. In the 1910s, she became the most frequently published poet in the Yale Review. In 1931, she was nominated for the Pulitzer Prize for her collection of poetry, Dreamers on Horseback. She also wrote successful historical novels set in East Texas, like Starr of the Wilderness and the children's history reader, The Texas Flag Primer, which I believe they used as a textbook for a little while. And she taught at Stephen F. Austin State University, which was then called Stephen F. Austin Teachers College, for 10 years, starting in 1924. She read her poem, The Pine Tree Hymn, at the college's 1924 dedication, and it became the first school song. There's a statue of her on Mound Street in Nacogdoches, Texas, in front of her former family home. Earth has no sorrow that heaven cannot heal. Karle Wilson Baker, October 13th, 1878 to November 9th, 1960. They have a lot of little plaques around here to read. We found another one of these. There's actually been quite a few visitors here to Oak Grove Cemetery while we've been here. So I guess this is kind of a local tourist attraction because of the history and everything. And we're getting closer to Zion Hill Baptist Church over here, which these days is owned by the CVB and they use it for special events. I like that your hair tie matches your Crocs.
Nice. I just wanted comfortable shoes today.
There's a really old grave right here with that wrought iron fencing around it. Can't even read this. Can you read that?
Mm-mm.
Me neither. I'm going to zoom in. Maybe I can tell on the video later.
Some of these need to have chalkings done of them. You know, where you put the paper and you just lightly chalk your paper.
Oh, right.
Then you'll get the imprint.
Too bad we didn't bring anything to do that with.
Yeah, but they've got this around it, so.
There is far too much history here at Oak Grove Cemetery to fit into a video, so make sure to check the links in the video description for further reading. And if you're in the Nacogdoches area and you're interested in Nacogdoches and Texas history, Oak Grove Cemetery is a must visit. I think we're going to go ahead and close out the video here. We had a really nice time exploring Oak Grove Cemetery in Nacogdoches, the oldest town in Texas. This cemetery is beautiful, peaceful, and full of Texas history. So make sure to join us next time on Exploring Nacogdoches, Texas. And also make sure to like this video and subscribe to the Exploring Nacogdoches, Texas YouTube channel.